All right, ladies and gentlemen, so I just came across this extremely interesting article from PC Gamer talking about the ex-Blizzard boss known as YBARRA. Now, this particular guy decided to make a statement that everybody's basically throwing into the fucking mud right now. They are going crazy right now on Twitter and over on online in general. You know, I think he made this post on Blue Sky, not shocking, but still, apparently he is trying to attack the Oblivion remaster and claiming that it could never hold up to modern masterpieces like Elden Ring, and apparently he considers it not a win in the overall gaming scene right now. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this comes off as extremely fucking envious at the end of the day, where somebody like YBARRA, who worked for Blizzard of all companies, is trying to essentially put down the Oblivion remaster. Nobody ever said that this game is supposed to compete with modern masterpieces. That's not the point. The point is, it's just a remaster of a game that is way more legendary in status and just overall compared to Elden Ring. As much as I love Elden Ring, Oblivion is much more famous and for rightful reasons. So let's get into this article from PC Gamer. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. We'll greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm, as we are on our way to 90,000 subscribers. Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, Oblivion Remaster is never meant to go up against modern games. That's not the point of it. If they were trying to make it go up against modern games, then they would have fully remade the game from the ground up. Literally, the entire thing would be different. You know what game is going to try to go against modern games? Elder Scrolls 6. Not Oblivion Remaster, but this guy knows that, and he's just trying to take the opportunity to put out a stupid fucking comment like that. It says it only took a few hours for Oblivion Remaster to sail past 120,000 concurrent players on Steam, and even hit an all-time peak of 182,000 earlier today. But despite all the hype and excitement surrounding the remaster, ex-Blizzard boss YBARRA doesn't seem to think it's a winner. Yeah, because a game that has almost 200,000 concurrent players and is easily going to sell well over 1 to 2 million copies easily just on Steam alone, yeah, that's not a winner, clearly. That's something that's failing miserably, especially since they did it within, what, 48 hours on a shadow drop? Yeah, sounds like a failure to me. I'm skeptical about 20-year-old remasters, YBARRA said, from former Blizzard president on social media. What was once fantastic, now remastered, will never hold up against modern masterpieces like Elden Ring. The bar has simply moved from safe open-world RPGs to what Elden Ring brought us all. I would love to be proven wrong, but I'm not. But you are. You are, because you're comparing apples to oranges, my guy. Why are you comparing a 20-year-old game that's being remastered to a modern game that released not even that long ago? I don't understand where your strategy is here. They're not even two of the same kind of games. Elden Ring created, From Software created its own genre, essentially. When people call it Souls-like, they have their own genre. Why are you comparing these two games? It just, you know what this sounds like? This sounds like an opportunity. Somebody who, I don't know, for whatever reason, is extremely envious, or at least at the very minimum, decided that, hey, Oblivion Remaster is trying to compete with modern-day RPGs. It's not. Oblivion Remaster is there for people who played the original Oblivion game so many years ago and decided, hey, I would like to check out a remaster of this game. Looks pretty damn cool. Obviously, it plays like the original Oblivion did for the most part. It has a couple of additions here and there, but it's not trying to be a brand new modern-day RPG. Elder Scrolls 6 is the game that you should be comparing to. And even then, you really shouldn't be, because they're totally different games and genres. But if you're going to make that argument, compare it to Elder Scrolls 6. Don't compare it to a remaster. What's wrong with you? And then he tries to backtrack and clarify, and he says, I don't mean Souls-like. I mean the discovery, the classes, the combat system, etc. YBARRA clarifies, just a new level of quality. Well, I don't know about you, but Elder Scrolls Oblivion has amazing discovery, has extremely fun classes. The combat system is quintessential Elder Scrolls. I don't know of anybody that would compare the combat system in Elder Scrolls to a game like Elden Ring. Like that just doesn't make any sense. They're two totally different combat systems. What is wrong? I don't understand what the hell is wrong with this guy. It's a pretty scathing read that doesn't really hold up. Well, finally, I agree with PC Gamer on something. Elden Ring was incredible, but it didn't actually have a lasting effect on how RPGs are approached. I wouldn't believe that. Much like how Breath of the Wild didn't change how developers fill open world environments. I don't believe that, because Elden Ring did have an impact on how people decided to develop action RPGs or video games that are like Elden Ring. They definitely had an influence on games like Black Myth Wukong, for example, or even the first Berserker Kazan. Even if you want to go all the way to like AI Limit, for example, there are games out there that have released well after Elden Ring that have clearly been influenced by at least some of the things that Elden Ring has done. But in any case, Assassin's Creed Shadows has a huge but shallow open world, and it performed pretty well, achieving the second highest day one sales revenue for an Assassin's Creed game. Again, they keep talking about Assassin's Creed, but have provided zero proof over anything that they talk about. They say it's number 2. They say it's almost number 1 in the country. All this stuff. They keep saying all this, and they're trying to hope that it sticks. But people are asking, hey, where are the sales numbers? And everybody stays quiet when you ask that question. So goes to show. But YBARRA doesn't take issue with whether Oblivion Remastered can hold its own with modern RPGs. I think we've had so many remasters that nostalgia is limited. YBARRA says, I could be wrong, but I think the gaming community wants fresh and new more than ever. Yes, they do. But Oblivion came out almost 2 decades ago. What are you talking about? It's not like they came out with multiple iterations of the game over the last, 2 decades, like The Last of Us, for example. They didn't do that. This game was a game that was in 2006, and then now they're releasing it in 2025. That is a long time. I think it's plenty of time has passed for this game to get a proper remaster, and that's exactly what happened. The game got a proper remaster for the most part. So I really don't understand where he's trying to go with this. Like, I get it. People do want new things. Of course people want new things. But there's nothing wrong with remastering a game that actually deserves a remaster. And Oblivion is one of those games that did. And it's been around for almost 20 years now. So there's no reason not to remaster it. It's not like they're going out there and remastering a game that's only been out for a few years. Like what happened with Horizon Zero Dawn. Ridiculous that they remastered that game. You can almost see zero difference. But a game like Oblivion, of course, I think it deserves a remaster. Then it says Oblivion Remastered offers a massive visual update with new real-time lighting, which looked really good, by the way. Character models that look really good also. Ambient details like insects and fish, and redesigned menus and interfaces. While that alone may not be too exciting, which I think it is. I think as an RPG player, I think all of that sounds exciting. Virtuos does seem to modernize certain old features, such as the leveling system, which is now inspired by Skyrim's. The third-person camera has been updated with a reticle and functionality, and you can now sprint. But sometimes it's important to know when to exercise restraint and not to change old features. While lockpicking and persuasion levels have new visuals, both have retained their original weirdness and difficulty. And the NPC dialogue may have a couple of new recordings, but the old awkward conversation timing will be left in place. So overall, guys, I think this is one of those situations where I don't know why Mike YBARRA decided to say this. I don't know what he was really trying to do here. I don't know if he was just trying to downplay the success of Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remaster. It's kind of weird, right? But at the end of the day, man, you should not be comparing this game to anything modern. The remaster is just a remaster of an older game. It's meant to bring to life a game that's already been around for almost 2 decades and just add new visual flair to it, change a couple of systems here and there, and re-put it out there. It's a remaster for a reason. It's not trying to compete with anything that came out recently. The fact that you even try to compare these two, Elder Scrolls and Elden Ring, you're out of your mind. They're 2 totally different video games, and they should never be compared. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.